Final module of construction project management. This module is about project control. So we have already learned about project monitoring. So as I've said, project monitoring, it is the measurement of performance and taking corrective actions as per the performance which is measured. And so project control is also the next step after project monitoring. So actually project control and project monitoring, it should go side by side for a particular project. The project monitoring tools, project control tools are almost similar. So for every project, so if we remember the iron triangle, that is on the top is time, on one apex is the cost and another apex is the quality. So we have to, as I've said, we need to monitor the project in respect to project time, cost and quality. Similarly, also we need to control the project in terms of project time, cost and quality. Also, say as I've said, organizations like L&T, they have replaced the quality with the help of scope. So in that case, we need to monitor and control the project in terms of project time, cost and scope. So this is a typical control cycle. So we gathered the facts and data, analyze the data and progress into reports, predict the likely outcome of the current course of the project, and also we take the corrective action and replan. Basic control. So time with respect to the schedule, cost with respect to budget, quality with respect to specification. So this is a graphical representation of the pre-construction activities. So generally the activities can be divided into two major categories. One is whatever we are doing before the construction and another whatever we are doing during the construction. So whatever we are doing before the construction is the pre-construction activities. And the pre-construction activities, it includes feasibility studies, design, technology selection, and then the bidding process. So during this particular pre-construction activities, what happens, the amount of project time which is involved is maximum 2/3 and the cost involved is less. Why? Because only the cost involved for designing, the cost involved for drawing, the cost involved for licensing, so the cost involved is 1/3. So for pre-construction activities, the time involved is 2/3 of the project time, but the cost involved is 1/3 of the project, but the cost involved is 1/3. Similarly, for the activities when we are doing that particular construction, so the time is involved is 1/3 of the project time because we have to construct very fast, but the cost involved is 2/3. So this representation, it shows the role of a project management and the control cycle. So in between you can see project management, primary components, planning, executing, controlling. So what are the other stakeholders? So number one, we have to fix up the goals. Second, we have to see that the time is maintained. We have to see the project funds are maintained. We have to see the human and technical resources are maintained. And finally, the end products. So what is the end product? The completion of the project within stipulated time and cost frame. So this is a typical managerial cycle. So a typical managerial cycle, it comprises of planning, which includes setting the objectives, survey work, resources, forming the strategy, then executing, which includes allocating the resources, guide execution, coordinating the efforts, motivate staff, and controlling, which includes measuring the achievements, reports, and resolving the problems. So this is a graphical representation which shows the potential of cost reduction at the various phases of the project. Now, in the initial phase of the project, the amount of materials which are involved in the project is absolutely nil. That is why, what are the costs involved? Costs for designing, costs involved for drawing, costs involved for licensing. So during the initial phase of the project, the potential for cost reduction is very high. But as the project goes on, slowly this particular projection or this particular cost reduction, it goes on reducing. So at the initial phase of the project, the potential of cost reduction is very high, but as the project goes on to the next phase, design phase, then construction phase, slowly maintenance phase, this particular potential slowly it goes on reducing. So this is also the ability to influence the cost at various project phases. So at the initial phase, the ability to influence the cost is very high. Then as the project goes on, the ability to influence the cost, it slowly reduces. So the control curves will be in the form of S curves. The S curves, basically it helps to find out the variance of cost and time. So for this particular S curve, which is very well represented in this graphical representation, so the parameter on x-axis is always project time, and the parameter on the y-axis is the cumulative cost, cumulative percentage progress. So here we can see in this particular project, this is the graph for the planned execution which has been taken place, but this is the curve which is showing the actual. So initially it was underperforming, then it started again performing well. So here if we see, so the project was planned up to this, but finally it shoot up to this. So this is the time overrun. Similarly, the project was planned up to this, but it shoot up to this. So this is the cost overrun. So S curves are the sigmoid curves which helps us to find out the time overrun or the time variance, and cost overrun or the cost variance. Generally what happens in the cash flow, so theoretically it follows a sigmoid curve, but practically it follows a step function. Why? Because if you see the cash inflow, so the cash inflow might come in month 1, and then there might be a delay for another 7 days. Then there might be again some cash inflow. Then again there might be some delay. Similarly, when the payments are disbursed by the client to the subcontractor, so they will give some payment depending upon the running bills, and then again they will take some time. Again they will give some payment, and then again they will take some time. So generally theoretically it follows a sigmoid function, but practically it follows a step function. Now we are coming to the time cost behavior. So in the time cost behavior, actually the parameter on the x-axis is project time, and the parameter on the y-axis is the project cost. So generally what happens, so if the project is completed within a limited time, that is called as the crash point, and if the project is completed within the normal time, this is called as a normal point. So generally what happens in crash point, this particular project, it is completed within limited duration, so definitely the cost will shoot up. But generally if you are trying to complete the project within normal time, the cost is less. So this particular slope, that is delta S by delta T, so this particular slope is called as the cost slope. So what is the cost slope? Cost slope will be crash cost minus normal cost by normal time minus crash time. So crash cost will always be greater than the normal cost, and normal time will definitely be more than the crash time. So as I've said, so this particular time cost trade-off, so though it appears to follow this particular convex function, but generally it follows a step function. Now finally we come to this representation which is called as the time cost behavior relationship. So this representation which is called as the time cost behavior relationship, please take care, on the x-axis we have project time, on y-axis we have project cost. Now if we sum up all the indirect cost of the project, it sums like this. If we sum up all the direct cost of the project, it sums like this. So if we add up this graph with this graph, so then we have a graph like this which is called as the project total cost. Now this particular point is the minimal point. We project that point vertically down. This is the optimum project time. Similarly, if we project here horizontally, this is the optimal project cost. So this point is called as the optimal time cost trade-off point. So if a particular project, we need to balance that how much cost we need to incur and how much time we need to set for that particular project. So we need to come to this particular point first. First of all, we have to find out this particular optimum point where the optimum time duration of completion of the project needs to be figured out, and then the optimum cost for completion of the project needs to be figured out. So if this particular point, if we are able to figure out, then we can decide that what kind of a balance for time cost trade-off we need to carry out for that particular project. And this particular point actually is very useful, because this particular point will determine the efficiency of the project. This particular point will determine the productivity of the project. This particular point will determine the profitability of the project. So this is all I wanted to discuss. Thank you.